All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by giving all praises and blessings to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha, Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders for this truth. All right. Peace and salutations to the elect. All right. Those who are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, risking life and livelihood in doing so, especially in these days and times. All right, and shalom to the women and to the children who watch and who learn, okay, from these lessons as well. All right, and just want to go into this video. All right, slave breeding facts that schools failed to teach you. All right. And so what I'm really going to do is I'm going to not even focus really on this video as the main focus, but there are some good points that this video will bring out, but I'm going to focus on a scripture. All right. I want to focus on the scripture. Okay. All right. Isaiah 14:2. Okay. And I'm going to start off. All right. We're going to look at Isaiah 14:2. All right. And it says, the people shall take them literally. All right. Literally, the peoples in Ezra 1:1-4, Ezra 6:7-8. We have what answered, okay, in a measure to the picture thus drawn, but here as elsewhere, the words paint an ideal to which there has been as yet no historical okay, there's been no historical reality, okay, fully corresponding, okay. No period of later Jewish history has beheld the people ruling over a conquered race. Okay, that's because we're not talking about, okay, those who are pretending, okay, who have stolen the identity of the real, okay, Israelites, okay, of the real Jews. All right. So that's why there's no historical history, because the people who have stolen the identity, all right, they don't have the proof to show it, all right, and at this point, they don't care, okay, but they are included, okay, in this prophecy that's about to come to pass, all right. It says, and if we claim a real fulfillment of the last clause of this verse, it is only in the sense in which the Latin poet said that gr, okay, some, all right, I don't know what that is, but the triumph of Israel. Okay, so that's Latin. Okay, Gracia Capta Furum Victorium Sapit. Okay, the triumph of Israel has so far been found in that of its leading ideas and in the victory of the faith, okay, of the Mashiach, right? In Isaiah 56 and 3. The proselyte appears as admitted on terms of equality here on those of subjugation, all right? But no, man, okay? See, this is talking about the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, okay? And you're gonna see that, okay? And you're gonna hear that, okay? Verse 2, it says, and the people shall take them, rather peoples shall take them, the heathen nations among whom they dwelt shall rejoice at the restoration of Israel to their own land, and even escort them in a friendly spirit to their borders. Okay? Some shall go so far as voluntarily to become their bondservants in Palestine. They shall take them captive, whose captives they were. This can scarcely have been intended literally. The Jews were at no time a conquering people, nor one that set itself to take captives, okay? The true meaning is that Jewish ideas shall penetrate and subdue the nations generally, okay? And among them those with whom Israel had dwelt as captives, all right? So this is not talking about, all right, well, they are going to have to learn, all right, the laws, statutes, and commandments, and I'm talking about these heathens, okay. um but the people who call themselves, who the masses have been calling Jews, okay, the Jewish people, this, they are, again, okay, they are identity thieves, all right. They have stolen the identity of the real Jews, of the real Israelites. And that's why this commentary is making no sense, okay? Because this is talking about something that's going to happen in the very close future, all right? Okay, so the Jews did become very popular and numerous both in Assyria. Okay, so the Jews were not in Assyria, okay? Jews were in Babylonia. Israel was in Assyria. Okay, about the first century after the Mashiach, and Christian churches were early formed in Mesopotamia, Abyssinia, and even Babylon. All right. So I'm going to, with that being said, I'm going to play this video so you can clearly see who this prophecy is talking about. All right. The real Jews. Okay. And this is, you could go watch this channel. All right. It's called Black Journals. Okay. And, they just go into historical events as you will hear them say. All right. Now, I'm just going to skip around. Okay. Subscribe. You can subscribe to this channel. Give them some likes. All right. They put out some informative videos.
Ham, son of Noah and father of Canaan, was deemed the...
Okay, so here is the European lie. Okay. And now, as you see, they have Ham, Shem, and Japhet. All right. Okay. Now, Ham, okay, is an Edomite. Okay, so their whole story makes no damn fucking sense, man. Okay. Yeah, I had to use strong language, man, because the stupidity that those people in the Christian church hold to this day. They, man, the people in the Christian church, okay, they hold on to they stuck on stupid, man. Okay, they're stuck on stupid. Okay, here it is. Here's the picture. They have Ham, Shem, and Japhet. You even have Israelites who can't get this, man. You got Israelites who think that one child was see, even Esau, Esau paints Ham as an Edomite. You see, he has him here as an Edomite because it makes no sense that you would have one this color, one that color. That makes no damn sense. Okay? Even Esau, this devil knows that, man. He's not trying to sell that one was this color. He's trying to sell that they were all one color. Okay? And that, one, after it was born, okay, then later on you got so-called blacks, man. Okay, which is a lie that they don't try to push. Okay, they rather, instead of admitting that all three of these men were so-called black, all right, just like their father Noah. Okay, instead of admitting that, they would just discredit the whole thing.
Antediluvian progenitor of the African people. They had begun using the Bible to justify the economic use of...
The first thing you must do is look.
Use of slave labor. The subjugation of slaves was taken as a natural right of the white slave owners. The second-class position of the slave was not limited to his relationship with the slave master, but was to be in relation to all whites. Slaves were considered subject to white persons, and then slaveholders would actively coerce their enslaved property to reproduce by cajoling, threatening, and punishing them into intimate relationships. Enslavers then either sold or exploited the children born of these sexual relationships for labor, earning themselves some good profit all the way. In this way, enslaved women were both producers and reproducers of slavery, and these children also grew up to unwillingly...
Now, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. These are the ancestors, and these are not, ancient ancestors, okay, of these white people here in America, man. Okay? These are their great grandparents. These are their grandparents. Okay? Get a grip of the fucking situation, man. This is not 1, 2, and 5. You see the depiction. It's not a handful of Edomites there, man. There are hundreds of Edomites who are partaking in this practice, man. Hundreds. And it's crazy now that I'm looking at this wow, the spiritual eye is something, man. I'm looking at this right here, and the faces on these Edomites, man, look ghostly, man. They look like damn demons. All right. So the person, You know how you see a picture and then there's a picture within a picture? You know, it could be a picture of it looks like an old woman, but then when you look at it, you know, for a long time, it's a cat wagging its tail or something. Hey, you know, these Edomite faces in this picture, man. Now that I just started reading it, I can't make out their faces, man. Their faces look like demons. Okay, because they are the Satan. All right. Now, I'm not gonna play this whole video. Okay, I'm just going in and showing. Okay, again, you have these so-called whites in your face, man, every single day. Okay, and again, their grandparents and great-grandparents were the ones who were actively doing this. Okay? Some of your great, okay, and you know, and a lot of you Edomites have met your great-grandparents. They partook in this institution. Okay, and we're going to, hey, this word is going to, it's going to grow, man. Okay, those Jakes who can't get this, okay, they're just like the lapdog, man. They are the result of inbreeding. They are the result of your breeding strategy to make money. There was no marriage. And just like today, man, it's the same thing. There's no damn marriage. Okay? So these devils, even today, these devils have, you know, they're covering up, okay, what they're truly doing. That's why none of these places, NAACP and EEOC, man, those places are worthless. Okay, all of that is for the 1948er. They are for the Edomite, and you're gonna hear them say that. You know, when you watch this video. Okay.
Follow in their parents' footsteps. This was known at the time as slave breeding. In this video today, we are taking a dive into the rarely told detail on how African slaves were bred by white slave owners and what had led to the sad eventuality. Before we continue, don't forget to hit that like button in front of you as a way of encouraging our works. Share with family and friends. Also, keep spreading these eye-openers and do not stop there. Subscribe and keep getting notified for more contents. Join in building the rising membership of this channel. Now, come along, let us delve into the dark days of slave breeding. From at least the 1770s and 1780s, anti-slavery groups in Britain and North...
And it was before then, all right? It started in 1492, all right? Don't try to, boost the numbers, okay? Talk about 17, no, okay? See, that's how these devils move, man. Select it 1 second. 1 second. And you know, you got Jake. Jake is just a la. See, because they were bred. They were bred like that. All right. Again, Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. Okay, and will yet choose Israel. So the Jews, Jacob, all right, southern kingdom, and Israel, okay, the northern kingdom, okay. The Lord, he's going to always show mercy. Okay? So even though we endured this with these Edomites, listen, this is to expose who this damn devil is, man. The rest of the devils, the rest of the Edomites, okay, they were like, look, man, enough is enough. Okay, look, you can't be doing that, man. This is going to come back and bite us in the ass. But see, these Edomites here in America, okay, most of these Edomites here in America have no education. They didn't need an education. They had slaves. They gained wealth by rape, murder, and robbery. The same thing you see a lot of these jakes doing, okay, in the streets. That's how Esau, that's the real recipe for riches here in Babylon the Great, daughter of Babylon, man. Rape, murder, and robbery has nothing to do with education. Okay? Education is a part of the deception, okay? And especially if you're learning an education from them, okay? Get that clear. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. Again, that's the so-called Negroes, all right, from the southern kingdom. And will yet choose Israel, and that's the northern kingdom, okay, or your Hispanic and Native Americans. And set them in their own land, okay? And the strangers shall be joined with them, okay, which are Israelites as well, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, okay? And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, okay? And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, okay? And they shall rule over their oppressors. See, this is what's going to happen. This is why the commentary was they didn't understand it, okay? But really, they do understand it. Just like Google search said, listen, they can't tell you everything, okay? They're just hoping that this is a nightmare, okay? They're hoping this is a nightmare, okay? I have a bunch of guys that I fish with, and when we catch salmon, all right, we call the salmon nightmare, okay? We call the salmon nightmares, man, okay? Because that salmon, he's a beast, man, in that water. So when he hits your lure, okay, yeah, and all you have is this line, okay, and this rod, okay, going up against this mighty fish, okay, in the water, okay, and sometimes he'll break that line, okay, and that's a fish of a lifetime, and you catch them, that's a fish of a lifetime every time that you catch a salmon, man. Okay, no one's just going out. A lot of people are not just going out catching salmon, man. All right, but if he breaks your line and you spent money on the lure or whatever, you have a nightmare, man. Okay, you'll be thinking about that fish, man. Okay, and Esau is having nightmares, man. Okay. see Mr. Burns, okay? He passed away, man, having nightmares every night, okay, knowing what they have done to the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and what's coming. All right. So I'm going to jump around.
North America began coordinating political attacks on international slavery, initially focused on abolishing the international slave trade. By the turn of the 19th century, anti-slavery activists paid increased attention to sensational claims about slave breeding practices in the Caribbean and mainland North America. The anti-slavery focus on slave breeding intensified in the United States during the 1830s and 1840s, reaching a crescendo in the 1850s as black and white abolitionists deployed sensational and sentimental rhetoric to attack the slave South. This was inevitable, perhaps. Slavery is wrong in every sense, but the American system...
Hello, America. I'm Danielle from For Patriots.
The leader of the Methodist tendency in the Church of England published Thoughts Upon Slavery, in which he passionately criticized the practice.
Keep in mind Isaiah 14:2, okay? In the commentary, okay? They were scratching their head, like, when was they talking about this? During the time of Ezra? Okay, they were scratching their head, okay? Because, the so-called Jewish people, okay, they never went into slavery as a race of people ever, okay? But you're going to hear in a few seconds, all right, who did.
In his 1776, a dissertation on the duty of mercy and sin of cruelty to brute animals, the clergyman Humphrey Primat wrote, "The white man, notwithstanding the barbarity of custom and prejudice, can have no right, by virtue of his color, to enslave and tyrannize over a black man." In 1781, the Dublin Universal Free Debating Society challenged its members to consider if enslaving the Negro race is justifiable on principles of humanity of policy.
Okay. Was it justifiable by principles of humanity of policy to enslave the Negro race? Okay? Not a handful of people, not some Africans, but the Negro race. All right? And as in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, we are not the same as the Africans. And Zondervan shows you that they know this, okay? They're not all, okay? They're looking, some of them are looking for some favor, okay, down the line, all right?
Despite the ending of slavery in Great Britain, the West Indian colonies of the British Empire continued to practice it. British banks continued to finance the commodities and shipping industries in the colonies they had earlier established, which still relied heavily upon slavery despite the legal developments in Great Britain. Around 6 million Africans were enslaved and taken to the Americas, at least 1/3 of them in British ships. It has been estimated that overall, about 12 million Africans were captured to be taken to the Americas in slavery.
See, those weren't Africans, all right? Those are Israelites, okay? Those are the Israelites that they brought over, all right? 12 million, okay? But it was much more than that. 12 million were just the ones that made it to shore. So I'm going to jump ahead. And I didn't even watch this whole thing, but I'm just going to skip. All right.
1807 Act's intention was to entirely outlaw the slave trade within the British Empire, but the lucrative trade continued through smuggling. Sometime.
Now look, he's branding. Okay, he's branding this Jake. But even the picture of them branding with a hot iron, okay, is too much. Okay? But the so-called white man did this, all right? He did this to you Jakes, man. You so-called Negroes here in America and in the islands. And he also did it to his so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, all right?
Captains at risk of being caught by the Royal Navy would throw slaves into the sea to reduce their fines. Abolitionist Henry Brougham realized that trading would continue, and so as a new MP successfully introduced the Slave Trade Felony Act, 1811. This law at last made slave trading a criminal felony throughout the empire and for British subjects worldwide. This proved far more effective and ended the trade across the empire as the Royal Navy ruthlessly pursued slave ships. In 1827, Britain defined participation in the slave trade as piracy and punishable by death. This led to increased calls for abolition in America, supported by members of the U.S. Congress from both the North and the South, as well as President Thomas Jefferson. At the same time that the importation of slaves from Africa was being restricted or eliminated, the United States was undergoing a rapid expansion of cotton, sugarcane, and rice production in the Deep South and the West. The invention of the cotton gin enabled the profitable cultivation of short staple cotton, which could be produced more widely than other types. Thus, slavery became crucial to the Southern economy, as the demand for slaves increased due to the expansion of cotton production, leading slave owners to breed slaves like animals to maximize profits and labor. Slaves were treated as a commodity by owners and traders alike, and were regarded as the crucial labor for the production of lucrative cash crops that fed the triangular trade. While they are managed as chattel assets, obviously similar to farm animals, slave owners passed laws regulating slavery and the slave trade, designed to protect their financial investment. The enslaved workers had no more rights than a cow or a horse, or as famously put by the U.S. Supreme Court in the case of Dred Scott versus Sanford, they had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. On large plantations...
Okay? And that lives on to today. Okay? You have no rights that the white man is bound to respect. Okay? You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're Rodney Dangerfield. Okay? You get no respect, man. Okay? So all the, the shenanigans, fronting like, you got money and, it's all smoke and mirrors, man. Okay? Slaves had favors. Okay? Slaves back then had favors, man. The slave master would be favorable to some of the slaves. You've heard the story of the house Negro, okay, and the field Negro. So that you have that today. Now, no one wants to identify with a house Negro, even though they are, clearly the house Negro. All right?
Enslaved families were separated for different types.
Damn.
Sometimes, the only thing more difficult than running a business
Slaves as possible for the sale and distribution throughout the South to meet their needs. Two of the largest breeding farms were located in Richmond, VA, and the Maryland Eastern Shore. Enslaved women of prime childbearing age, between 15 to 35 years old, were considered highly valuable by slave traders, especially after the 1807 law prohibiting the import of slaves into the United States. Even the womb of little girls came to represent the expansion of financial assets. Wells Okogome learned of one 8-year-old girl, Nancy, who was sold on the promise of the future and increase of Nancy. At some point, to combat the high rate of death among slaves, plantation owners demanded females start having children at 13. By 20, the enslaved women would be expected to have about 5 children. Young women were often advertised for sale as...
Okay, so this same damn devil who's got, what's his name? Fuck, I forgot his name already. R. Kelly, locked up. Okay, see these devils, they hey, see they had young girls as young as 8 years old. Okay, and it was common for girls who were 13 years old. Okay, so these are the great grandparents, okay, of these so-called, some of these so-called white people are still, living in these, homes, these plantations, okay, and on the land that these acts uh took place on, man. You know. So um bottom line, okay, and as you'll see that the so-called white woman, child, okay, smut, they were all a part of it just as much as the white man, all right, just as much as the white man. So you're going into captivity without a question, Esau. Okay, now you may say, "Oh, well, where am I going?" And that's the thing. A lot of you devils, you're saying when. Okay, when is this? That's never going to happen when I'm alive, when I breathe. You know. Guess what, man? Your children. Okay, this is guaranteed. Your children are going into slavery, into the fields, just like the so-called Negroes did. Okay, thus saith the Lord. Okay, your little daughters. Okay, they're going to be snatched up and they're going into the fields. Okay? They are going to be concubines to a chocolate stallion. Okay? A chocolate stallion is going to be their master. Okay? And they're going to call him master. So, you can try and do your critical race theory. These videos, they still get out. You can play with the numbers or do whatever. Okay, they still get out, and this word is still getting out. Okay, so like I said, this was going to be a quick video. Lord willing, you were edified. And to next time, Shalom.